Welcome to another super late live stream. If you guys are part of the members only Discord, you knew that I was going live. We were live earlier for Dana White's Contender Series. We were live last night. We'll be live tomorrow. At some point for like 2 weeks, I'm just not going to stream at all and take a break from streaming at some point. But I just threw this stream together really quick. I actually didn't even finish filling out anything. I just realized. So I'll have to go add this real quick. But here we are. We can talk about whatever. Nate Diaz, Khamzat Chimaev, Sean O'Malley, Petr, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira. I just threw them in the title because they were recent fight announcements. I really didn't even know what to title the stream. But here we are, and I need to make sure I tweaked all the settings properly. I forgot to double check. Copy that. Edit. Yeah, I did not even put in a description, so I'll save my description. Yeah, we can talk about Bo Nickel, which has been a hot topic in the Discord lately. We can talk about that. We can talk about whatever you guys want. I don't know how long. I keep getting Discord notifications. Let me mute it. I'm tired of hearing them. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes these random streams are the best streams sometimes. So if you're watching right now, I don't know why you're up this late. I guess it's not that late in certain parts of the country. But like the stream, I would greatly appreciate it if you like the stream, share the stream, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And appreciate you guys joining me at midnight East Coast time. Sinister says, so is Bo Pickle. I've never heard of Bo Pickle. Is that Bo Nickel's brother? Bo Pickle, is he the next UFC champion? Definitely. With his pedigree, I think he's definitely the next UFC champ. Leon says Nate deserves a better matchup, yet he signed to fight Nate while being number 3. That is true, but maybe Leon's just saying it in relationship to the grappling of Hamza, but also it could be my eyes itching for some reason. It also could be the fact that this is Nate's last fight. And also, Leon was like, oh, I'll definitely take this matchup. You know what I mean? Leon knows he was going to win that matchup. That's why he took it. So he could just be saying, he's a legend on his way out. It's not like that was his last fight going into the Leon fight. And then now that we pretty much know this is his last fight, then we should give him a little bit better matchup, if that makes sense. What are we missing here? He's highly likely to be. Who you got, Vera Cruz? I have a full breakdown and prediction on the channel, but I'm going with Vera. Nice haircut. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. I got to get this haircut because I'm trying to make it to 5,000 subscribers. I can't get to 5,000 without an ugly haircut. Random stream, I say, yeah. Were you not reading the Discord, French fries? What are you doing? You playing too much Royal Rumble? Huh? Streaming too much? What's going on? You didn't see it? What is an interview question that you would like asking for your interviews but never see other MMA outlets ask? That is a great question, Sinister. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I always think there's for me, it's oddly specific fight questions to the fighters. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's some questions. There's some questions that I feel like, why didn't they ask him this? Why didn't they ask him that? And I'm like annoyed, but I can't think of any like one size fits all for every fighter question that they should ask off the top of my head. I'll get back to you on that one. Out of 13 times Nate has lost, was his loss against Leon the least impressive showing by a winner? No, I don't think. I think Leon beat the brakes off of him. He got rocked in the last minute. That's it. No, I really wasn't. I just saw you guys arguing about Bo. Yeah, Bo's legit elite. So, it's settled. It's settled at this point. What's up, MMA Joey? It's Anthony back again. Also, I feel Bo Nickel is biting off more than he can chew. Collegiate wrestling is way better than MMA wrestling. You tell that to Fight Life Nation, Anthony Martinez. You tell that to Fight Life Nation. Collegiate wrestling is different than MMA. It is not the same. Just because you have success in collegiate wrestling doesn't mean you're going to come into MMA, especially in the UFC, and be successful. So, he's too busy getting whooped on me in UFC 4. There you go. That's why. That's why he's not paying attention. I used to think Vera, because it's 5 rounds, but thinking about it, Vera's too easy to piece up, and he's not that dangerous or explosive. Did you watch the Rob Font fight? O'Malley or Petr? Definitely Petr. What's a rule set that MMA should either introduce, change, or get rid of completely? What's a rule set? Talking too much to the fighters, I don't even know if that's a rule set. But I don't know. I just wish when fighters committed egregious fouls that they were actually penalized for it. Grabbing the fence, multiple eye pokes. I'm just tired of egregious fouls not being penalized. Any chance Cruz outstrikes Vera? Could be on the numbers. I could see that happening on the numbers, but not the overall effect of the strikes. I mean, there's a case to be made. I rewatched it. There's a case to be made that Rob Font won about 21, 22 minutes of his fight against Marlon Vera, but Marlon Vera still won because he damaged him more, hurt him badly in multiple rounds. Are you surprised Bo didn't get a contract? No, they planned that beforehand. He already knew that. Big ups, thank you. Surprise random stream. You just said goodnight a few minutes ago. Yes. If you were in the members Discord, you would know about this for sure. I let everyone in the Discord know I was going live. So I don't know how long I'm going to be live, but I'm here. I'm here. Run up the likes on the stream. Sup, my boy. I'm sorry I'm late. No problem, Iceman. I hope you're doing well. Elite Sambo would probably negate folk style wrestling. I mean, Sam Alvey may KO Bo Nickel. I'm not. The fact is, wrestling is not the same thing as fighting. It's not like we've seen an extended beating of amateur guys. I mean, he's 2-0. He's 2-0. He was dominant in collegiate wrestling. Yeah, sure. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, it means something, but you can't say you're going to be successful in MMA at the highest levels. That's my point. People are acting like, oh yeah, he can definitely beat the decent middleweights at this point in time. And it's just, I think you think we're arguing something that we're not arguing. My point is people are hyping him up. He's beat 2 grocery store cashiers and people are hyping him up like he's so good. And it's just because the media wants a guy to hype up, because the more stars in the sport, the better. Not that I'm saying he's a star, but they're thinking, okay, if we can start building him now, the media looks at it as their job to build stars along with the promoter. They did this with Aaron Pico. Same thing. They did it with Henry Cejudo quite a bit as well. And I just think it's delusional to think 2 MMA wins against nobodies and we're acting like he's already an elite fighter. Any time frame on when Bo fights next, I don't know. I could see it happen in like 2 weeks. But within the next 2 months, I would say. I think more draws should happen. More points should be taken for fouls, like you mentioned. Okay, there you go. Chimaev versus Bo Nickel. Chimaev, I think, wrecks Bo Nickel in the wrestling department. Hell, I even think Usman and Gilbert Burns would. Yeah, I think all those guys would beat him for sure. He's fought nobody. He's fought literally nobody. He hurt Font, but wasn't with massive sudden burst. It was with check hooks or knees as Font came in rather than chasing. He hit him with a hook kick too. I have no idea. I'd never pay attention to odds in my entire life, so I absolutely have no idea. I think the UFC should change their weight cutting system like how one championship does it. I don't know. I'm always resistant to change, and I haven't paid super close attention to ONE FCs. Cruz is going to literally be sprinting from Vera in those last couple rounds. Yeah, Cruz just doesn't have the same level of footwork and head movement that he did, 4 or 5 years ago, which is really sad to see. It's hard to be successful in the lower weight classes at an advanced age. And unfortunately, that's where Dominic Cruz is. It's really unfortunate. I like Dominic Cruz quite a bit. Sad to see Sam Alvey be cut, end of an era. Yeah. For sure. I'm actually really getting really sick and tired of the Sam Alvey jokes from people. That's actually really annoying me. It's like, leave the man alone. Leave the man alone. He got brutalized. He lost his hopes and dreams. He lost, God knows how many fights in a row. And just people are just constant making jokes. And it's like, it's not even funny at this point. The joke you're making has been made 75 times. I'm not saying you. I'm just talking about general people online. But it is sad to see. Sam Alvey's been around for a long time. What weight class, Bowen? Middleweight. What do you think of a possible matchup between Terrence McKinney versus Paddy the Baddy? I like it. I like it a lot. It makes a lot of sense when you look at where they're at in their careers. The UFC won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Terrence McKinney would absolutely wreck Paddy. He would KO him brutally in the first round. Nina versus Calvillo. I got Calvillo. Moraes is a featherweight. Who are we talking about there? Moraes. Who are we talking about? Marlon Moraes is a featherweight? I don't understand. I'm trying to think who else you're talking about. Could be. I don't know. One hydration test is not a real thing. The method has no science behind it and actually allows higher weight class fighters to fight lower weight class fighters by gaming the system. I'm not educated enough on the hydration weight cut system at ONE FC, so I can't say. The one championship steroid test is a questionnaire. Is it? I had no idea. Terrence McKinney versus Paddy the Baddy at MSG, but I agree with you, Joey. I think Terrence wrecks Paddy. Yeah. I mean, what's Paddy going to do? Out-grapple him? He's going to out-grapple him. Just eating some corn dogs and watching some MMA, Joey. You know the fucking drill. Shut your bald ass up. Hold on, what was it? Hold on, I forgot. Now I forgot what it was. That quick. Let me look at Discord. I forgot what I said. Shut the fuck up, you bald-headed bitch. Oh, man. We said that in the stream earlier by mistake. Where was I at? Guys, if you have not liked the stream yet, please run up the likes on the stream. That's how we end up getting more people in here. I always got to check the YouTube chat because for some reason things get flagged. What did I just see? I'm not a big guy to hate on fighters or commentators, but why does Bisping shit on fighters after they give a post-fight interview like he did to Bo Nickel? What did he do? I didn't even hear that part. What are we looking at? Yeah, Moraes is huge, dude. I just seen that picture, Sinister. That's crazy. This weekend card kind of sucks considering it's a big arena. Yeah, it's not very good. It's not built very strong. Speaking of MSG, we're getting closer to getting the full MSG card. What fights do you think will be added to the MSG card? Adesanya versus Pereira is already the main event. Chandler versus Poirier is going to be on there. I'm thinking maybe Weili Zhang versus Carlos Esparza might be on there as maybe a co-main event. Maybe a Chris Weidman return. I'm just throwing that out of left field. I doubt that, and maybe Paddy Pimblett versus Jim Miller or something. Bo Nickel is a higher in credentials than Khamzat. Fair enough. Okay. I don't know. Not just that Bo Nickel is folk style as well. Paddy the Baddy versus Jim Miller. There you go. I just said that. Do you take steroids? Yes or no? That's how one tests their fighters. Okay. That's annoying. I didn't know that. People don't understand the level of wrestling Bo Nickel is that. It ain't just wrestling. Okay. He said, calm down, buddy. Don't get ahead of yourself. He just kills the vibe. Yeah, Bisping's terrible at commentary and terrible at just terrible at in general asking questions. It's really bad. It's really bad. He always does that. He shits on people in their post fights. Hold up. What's up? You should build up UFC 282 potential matchups. It's just tough. It's just too tough to do that. Maybe if Chito lands some heavy kicks early on, I could see it really hindering Cruz's mobility. Keen to see a TKO KO. You sound like you watched my prediction video. He will be chopping those legs of Dominic Cruz early and often. I think it will limit the mobility is an exact words. This is the exact sentence I used in my video. And eventually, I think he'll catch him in TKO. What video did you have the most fun making in your recent videos? What video did I have my most fun making? Honestly, I enjoy making most of them. I'm just kind of a perfectionist, so I don't really like to edit too much anything. So if I make like a couple mistakes, even if I'm like 8 minutes in, I'll restart. Probably out of most recent videos, I'll go back like 2 weeks. I really enjoyed making the video. Where was it at? Who wins? Or no, the thumbnail says who wins, but it's Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev announced for UFC 280. And it's like about a 15-minute video. I really enjoyed talking about that fight. And also, I didn't really need to do any research for it. I jumped on, I hit record, and I just talked about the fight. And it was really easy to make. It was really enjoyable to make. And I just like giving my thoughts, and I like to try to my main goal with the channel is to give my thoughts, and whether you agree with them or not, I want you to understand where I'm coming from and just be very clear and concise. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to achieve in each and every video and each and every stream as well. Is just try to be easy to understand, because there's too many people you're watching. You're like, what is this guy talking about? I'm not even talking about MMA in general. I'm just talking about any people on YouTube. There's videos you'll watch. I'm like, I don't even know what this guy's talking about. I'm not even understanding where he's going with this. And that's what I try to do. And that's one of my favorite videos to make. If I had to pick a super recent one, I mean, that was pretty recent. But if I had to pick a, like, in the last week or so, 2 weeks, I mean, that video was like 3 weeks ago. But if I had to pick a super recent one, I really enjoyed making the Adesanya Pereira one on Friday, 4 days ago. There was one that stood out to me. I can't remember now. I can't think of what it was. Oh, the tanking pay-per-view sales intentionally. UFC 279. I really when I hate something, and I hate UFC 279, I enjoy really going after it. And I might even make another video going after 279. So that was one of my more enjoyable videos. And I think it's aged well, because 2 weeks ago, I made that thinking, okay, there's a chance in a couple days I look like an idiot. Because when I made that video, I'm like, we're kind of like 6 weeks out, or we're kind of like 7 or 8 weeks out. The UFC could announce a big fight tomorrow or the next day. But I said, there's no way they're going to put a lot of big fights on this card. And I made that video knowing that in a day or two, I could look really dumb, and it all worked out. And it seems like it's going to work out. What fight should be next for Hamza after he beats Nate Diaz? Unfortunately, I'd like to see him fight for the title, but it sucks he's going to get a title shot after beating Nate Diaz. So I'll say he beats Nate, and then he gets a quick turnaround and fights Colby. How many strikers do you think Alex needs to drop for the UFC to put him in a co-main spot? How many stinkers? I doubt they ever put him in a co-main spot. New live stream. What's up, Joey? Yep. Niles, we are here. We are back again. Join the Discord. You would have saw it in the Discord if you were in the Discord, my friend. UFC middleweight is so bad that Alex Pereira is fighting for a title. Someone like Bo Nickel would run through Pereira. I think that's a little premature. I hate how everyone is doubting Cruz. I got Cruz 49-46 or 48-47. I could see Cruz winning via decision. Do you think Jorge could be a backup for UFC 279? Absolutely not. He could be a backup for Hamza, but he's not going to be a backup for Nate. He's not fighting Hamza on short notice. No way, shape, or form. Gabriel Benitez or Charlie Ontiveros? I'm probably going Gabriel Benitez. Charlie Ontiveros isn't really good at all. Can't believe Cruz versus Aldo Dillashaw in 2022 is a possibility. That is very true. Who would have thought? Who's more entertaining, current Izzy or 2009, 2013 GSP? I'll say GSP because there was always like, if someone beats him, can someone beat him? What puts you off a fighter more, being corny or having bad sportsmanship? Honestly, both, but probably being corny. How would Islam versus Dariush fight go if it was 5 rounds? I think Islam would out-grapple him. Are tickets going to be cheaper for 281? The prices are around 450. No, I doubt it. Finally, feel like I asked some decent questions to stream. I think you always ask decent questions. I need to join. I was trying to find the link. I'm still somewhat new to Discord, new member here. You go to my page. Let me just walk you through this, and let me make sure the link is not expired. So you go to my main page on YouTube. You go to my channel. Then you go over to community tab, and you scroll down. And 6 days ago, you'll see a link that says join the members Discord. It's right there. You click on that, and you should be able to join. Connor is so confusing. He constantly retires. Then just today, Connor's always just looking for attention. He's the biggest clout chaser I've ever seen, and he will continue to do that until the day he dies. Talking about fighting and not fighting, and he's the GOAT and this and that. If I can ever afford 2 UFC tickets, you'll be my +1, Joey. None of my friends. I appreciate that, Niles. That means a lot. If you could only see one, Islam Charles or Izzy Alex, definitely Islam Charles. Thoughts on Nurmagomedov versus Gazi? I have no idea. I didn't even see that fight was at it. I have no idea who I'm predicting to win that one. Who's next for Umar? I'm hoping Ricky Simone. Who you got, Colby or Hamza? I'm going Hamza all day. Who could Pedro beat at flyweight? I think he could beat a lot of guys at flyweight. It depends how the weight cut affected him. He would beat Jeffrey Molina. I think he probably beat Manel Kopp. He beat Sumadarji. He beat Amir Abazi. He beat Tim Ellie. He beat David Dvorak. He beat Matt Schnell. He beat Mateus Nikolai. He beat Alex Perez. He probably beat Brandon Royval if he didn't get submitted. And then after that, it's up for debate for the rest of them. I already read that. Yo, what's up, Joey? How was your day? It was good. Did you like the UFC 280 poster? They put it out before. Yeah, I did enjoy the 280 poster. I'm hoping they're still working on at least one big fight for UFC 279 to salvage it a little bit. How would a Rockhold versus Izzy fight go? Rockhold would probably get chinned. Prime Rockhold would probably get Izzy down and control him on the ground. How many pay-per-views do you think Hamza and Usman would do? I think it would do big. I would think like at least like 600,000-700,000, if not more. Does Giga have a fight? Yes, he is fighting Sadiq Yusuf. What's a bigger fight, McKinney versus Pimlet or Cheeto versus Sean? Cheeto versus Sean, I think. What was your initial reaction on the Diaz brothers in the UFC? What do you mean my initial reaction? I don't know what you mean by them in the UFC. I used to not really like Nate. I found him really annoying, but then he grew on me. I see it. Thank you for being my guide. No problem. Happy to be a part of supporting the channel. I appreciate you supporting the channel, Niles. I've noticed they barely promoting the 2 upcoming pay-per-views we have in order to focus on promoting 280. They are going for 1 million buys. I think what they're doing is they have a big deal with Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's paying them millions of dollars to bring a big card there, and I think that's why they're stacking it. I'll be joining the streams for the upcoming pay-per-views. I'd rather give my money to the channel than some of these upcoming pay-per-views. I'm looking at you, 279. Dude, 279 is garbage. I'm not 100% sure streaming 278, but I will 100% sure stream 279. Just because if people could rather come to my stream than order the pay-per-view, I want that to happen. I hate that card. What if Brock Lesnar fought sooner? Do you think he would have been better? It's hard to say. I think he was a product of timing. The heavyweight division still isn't that great. And he came at a time that it was even worse than it is now. So I doubt it. He was never going to be that good. Who had a better career between Francis and Stipe so far? I'll say for Stipe. Did you get a new haircut, Uncle Joey? Yeah, I got a new haircut. What's next for Brunson? Maybe the winner of Robert Vittori. Sean Strickland. Who do you see having the better cardio in the champ rounds, Charles or Islam? I don't know. That's interesting. Depends how the fight goes, but I'll say it's close to equal, with the edge going to maybe Islam. But I don't know. That's pure speculation. What main event besides Jones or Conor do you think could sell 1 million? It does not include Jones or Conor. That's a good one. I don't know. What event could be 1 mil. I don't know if there is any, unfortunately, because I want to say Francis versus Jones, but that includes Jones. Maybe a really good card with Usman Hamza at the top, but I doubt that too. Let's hear some questions from the lurkers. Yeah, if you're lurking on the stream, throw a question in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Bare minimum, like the stream. We got almost 50 people in here, and we got 15 likes. Guys, come on. Go like the stream. It takes 1 second. Good thing I checked. Fight Life Nation member for 12 months. 272 at least had fun fights. 279's card sucks. Yeah, 272 sucked too. You should get your badge at the end of this month, or end of this next cycle. I seen that question somewhere, and now I'm lost. Do you think any fight ever beats 2.54 million buys? No, not for a long time. Not for a long time. UFC 280 card of the year? For sure. That's the best card I've ever seen on paper. Vicente Luque versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Don't even do that to Vicente. Shavkat wrecks him. Gaethje versus Fiziev in working. Who you got? I got Fiziev all day. I'll be here for 279. And there any other fight cards coming up that look questionable as far as being worth the money if it's a pay-per-view? I think 278 is a decent pay-per-view. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. And 280, is 2 pay-per-views. I'd pay 150 for 280 as it stands right now. 279 is god awful, and then we don't have anything else right now. We got the main event of 281. So it's only 279 right now that I think looks questionable. Where was I at? Stipe should retire. He fight. Yeah, that is true. He's very inactive. Masvidal versus Adesanya. Stop it. Would GSP returning against Khabib sell 1 million? Yes. I'll say yes. Khabib versus Oliveira could have 1 million. I'd love that matchup. That's been a dream matchup for mine for a long time. How would Terrence versus Miller go? Terrence would destroy him. I think if Izzy and Jorge fight on the same card, it'd do over 1 million. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if it does, but it would do very high. Does Izzy beat Wonder Boy in a kickboxing match? Yes. Hey, how's your night, Joey? My night is good. How is yours, Derek? How are you doing, my friend? My night would be better if we didn't have 50 people in here and nobody liking the stream. People are just hate watching. They must hate me, and they're just watching to hate me. Joey, you are the man. Hope you're doing well. Hamza is coming for Marty's title pretty soon. It will be in his due time. Fair enough. I'm looking forward to seeing Khamzat versus Usman. Was TJ Grant a big what if? Yes. Is Nikolai, he can't pronounce his last name. I don't know how to spell it. Is he top 15 worthy? Doubtful. Do you think Conor was going to wreck Cowboy? Yes. Wait a minute. I'm dumb. UFC 280 is Charles versus Islam. I thought it was 281. Yeah, it was originally 281, but then they shuffled around the pay-per-views. We're UFC 279 September 10th. UFC 280 is the end of October. So we had almost a 2-month period with no pay-per-views. It used to be September 10th, then UFC 280 was early October, and there was going to be 2 pay-per-views in October. But unfortunately, they changed it around. I guess they didn't have enough to even put 279 together, so they changed it up. So we're going to go 2 months without a pay-per-view. Let me look exactly how many weeks that is. Calendar. So we go from September 10th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 weeks in between pay-per-views. 6 weeks in between pay-per-views. And the 279, in my mind, isn't even a pay-per-view. So we're really going like 3 months without a pay-per-view, which is actually really depressing. If Dustin beats Chandler and Charles takes back his belt, what does Dustin need to do to get a rematch with Charles? I don't know. I don't think he's going to, regardless of what he does. Like it up. Connor would destroy. Yeah. What's up, Blaze One? Demir Ismagulov most under. Dude, the lightweight division is stacked. Do you have Aldo beating Holloway? I think the first time, yes. The second time, no. If I remember correctly. Khamzat versus Jorge could maybe sell 1 million. I don't think so. Who could O'Malley face after he lost to Yan? It depends what the division's looking like. Maybe Song Yudong, maybe a Pedro Munoz rematch. They'll probably give him Frankie Edgar's corpse, something like that. What's a matchup you'd like to see that hasn't been made yet? I think it's going to be made, but Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. If we're talking about something that hasn't even been rumored of, I want to see Mavsar Evloev versus Bryce Mitchell, or Brian Ortega versus Bryce Mitchell. How would a Volk versus Chandler fight go? I think Volk would probably TKO him. Do you think any fight night cards with fans do better than any of the pay-per-views? What do you mean by define do better? Honestly, the pay-per-view break will make 280 that much better. You're right. You're right. At this point, we should illegally stream 279 just to see Nate versus Chimaev. It's not pay-per-view worthy. You said it, not me. Izzy versus Yuri, Usman versus Hamza, Thug Rose versus Valentino, O'Malley versus Aldo, Patty versus Tony Ferguson. But I think this does 1 million. Yeah, if you stack it that much, maybe. Do you think the UFC thinks Nate could have beaten Jorge or Dustin? Why didn't they give Nate those guys? I think they wanted him to lose as badly as possible. That's why. Loser of Yan O'Malley versus loser of Chito Cruz. I like that idea. Frankie Edgar's corpse, LOL. Yeah. Frankie Edgar's corpse. Maybe Hamza versus Usman, Aljo versus Malley, Jorge versus Burns. Yeah, something like that could do. Something like that could do. Let me check YouTube real quick. Okay, I didn't miss anything, I don't think, or at least nothing got flagged. What kind of numbers does Nate bring in? Could he be part of a million pay-per-view like Diaz Poirier? Doubtful. It would have to be Diaz versus Connor. Diaz versus Ferguson, I think, could do well, but probably just as well as Diaz Hamzat. What's next for Umar Ricky Simone? I want to see. What do you think about Rosenstrike versus Lewis? Do you like it? I think it's a good idea. I'm not super excited for it. With fighters like Dustin and Justin, who have both fought for the titles twice and lost, what do they need to do? Go on a long run. Win 3 or 4 fights and just become yep, you exactly answered your question, Derek. I agree with you 100%. Will O'Malley be the only fighter in UFC to ever be stretchered out of the octagon with no serious injury? I'm sure there's others. Who can TKZ beat in the rankings? Maybe Dan Ige. I think he already beat Dan Ige, honestly. He could beat Dan Ige, Shane Burgos, Edson, maybe. Sadiq Yusuf, probably. Evening Merkley, thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. What's next for Barboza if he loses? Maybe another run. Probably Bellator or PFL. Probably PFL. How do you think Muhammad Usman makes it in the heavyweight division? I don't think he makes it far. I don't think he makes it far at all. Yeah, I don't think he makes it far. Highly unlikely, but if Nate does the impossible, how do you think the post-fight will speech and just how do you think the overall vibe? Everyone will be shook to the core. Everyone will be shook to the core. Pay-per-view prediction for UFC 280. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say it does 800,000 because that card's so good. Joey, how many fights have you been in and explain one? I don't even remember. It's been so long. I don't even remember. But probably like, rough guess, maybe like 6 to 8. But we're talking 16 and under. Something like that, maybe. If UFC 280 had Diaz Chimaev added to it instead, could it? Yes. Cancel UFC 279 and add Diaz Chimaev to 280. I'd be okay with that. Yes, it does a million. Gaethje's the most unskilled top 3 guy. I think Gaethje's very skilled. Who would you like to see Nate fight in his last fight, Conor or Tony? Who wins, Mo Usman or Puges? I forgot how you pronounce his name, but from Contender Series, Mo Usman KOs him. I think the biggest issue is the pay-per-view numbers are all speculative because ESPN doesn't make them public. I wonder what these people are using for. It's just made up. Just made up. Any news about Colby? No. Colby's off in witness protection. Do you think UFC 279? No. No. How many losses do you feel like it should be before UFC gets cut from the roster? A Sam Alvey amount or a Chris Montino amount? I think it all depends. Context means everything. Context means everything. So it all depends what happens and who they're fighting and, what they've done in the past. So that all matters. So you can't really say a predetermined number, because some guys are losing to absolute savages. Some of them can be close fights and all that. So it's hard to say. Prime Silva, Prime Romero. Unfortunately, even though I'm a absolute Anderson Silva fanboy, I would pick Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero is one of the best middleweights to never hold a title, and it's because of his weight cut issues. How many pay-per-views? I'll say 900, 800,000. Mo Usman ruined my parlay. I had 8 fights on Saturday, 6 MMA, 2 boxing. Would have won $200 off a $50 bet. Usman's KO was the only loss. Well, shame on you for betting against Usman. Do you think Mo will do good at heavyweight? No, probably not. I mean, heavyweight's terrible to begin with, so he could probably be top 15. But to do long-term top 5 damage, no. He's not beating Gane. He's not beating, Stipe. I mean, but I guess some of these guys may retire and the division isn't that stacked. Do you think O'Malley's an actual pay-per-view star? People think social media relevance makes you an automatic pay-per-view draw, and it doesn't. So I don't know. I think it's doubtful that he's a huge pay-per-view draw, but I think people care about his fights, but I don't know. I feel like the majority of O'Malley's fan base is like 13 to like 18-year-olds who smoke a lot of weed and wear like, marijuana clothes, like with the design on them, with the leaves on them. And I don't know if what are they begging their parents to buy them a $60 pay-per-view because O'Malley's on it? I doubt it. They're probably streaming it illegally. So I'm going to say no. But he could be. This is an unpopular fight that I personally want, but I would love to see Jorge versus Leon. The backstory is too good. Yeah, it's a fight that if it doesn't ever happen, it's a travesty. Would Nunes dominate? Yes, he's too big. Oh my God, I'm not even discussing that. If you were to try to make tough entertaining again, who would you pick as coaches? Tony and Abib. My MSG dream card would be Izzy, Pereira, Poirier, Chandler, Burns, Masvidal, McKinney, Patty, and Whaley versus Carla Esparza. That's what you need to make it. Gaethje, Chandler, and Dustin is more of a pay-per-view star than O'Malley. Yeah, I agree. How does Font versus Umar go? 50-50. No, Umar out-grapples him. Joey, did you see the video of Weidman apologizing to Silva, how he acted when Silva's broke his leg? I've always been biased against Weidman because of that, and that video made my heart easy. It's funny because I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before, Derek. I always hated Chris Weidman for him parading around the cage, draped in the American flag, celebrating Anderson Silva breaking his leg, and then, talking kind of just the way he acted afterwards. And I don't think him apologizing made me feel the way you do. But him getting knocked out several times and then him breaking his leg and experiencing what Silva went through made me feel bad for him. You know, I'm not saying I wish for his leg to break, but I'm saying at that point, I'm like, the karma has paid enough. You know, he got brutally KO'd by Yoel Romero. He got brutally KO'd, you know, brutally, savagely beaten by Luke Rockhold, KO'd by Gegard Mousasi, KO'd by Jacare Souza, and now he snaps his leg. He's paid his dues. I forgive. But the fact that he was taking pictures, checking people's leg kicks, disgraceful. Disgraceful. Marijuana clothes, marijuana guy in a beef's voice. O'Malley's fans think Chris Martinez is an impressive win. Yeah, did you see all that volume? Did you see all that volume he put out? Yeah. Top 5 biggest current superstars. I'll say Conor McGregor. I'll say John Jones, even though I don't know if you want to count him because he's not really fighting. Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal. And I will say Izzy somewhere in there as well. No particular order. Do you find boxing boring? I don't find it particularly interesting. Would you rather watch Tough or Dana White's Contender Series in a row? Probably Dana White's Contender Series. The last thing Jorge wants is a fight with Leon. Leon would put the nail in the coffin. Very true. I see y'all trying to sneak in questions about he who should not be named on the channel. Ha, 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 ha. Yes. McKinney versus Alvarez hypothetical matchup. I believe both are underrated. That's a great matchup. I would take McKinney by KO probably. Do you think any idea of why the UFC banned countries' flags in the Octagon? Yes, because of everything going on with Russia and Ukraine. Rather than saying, oh, you can't bring your Ukraine flag or you can't bring your Russian flag, they just took the easy way out and they said, look, nobody's allowed flags anymore. Which I understand, it makes total sense, but that's why they did it. I just don't know why Dana just hasn't come out right and said it. Look, we don't want any of this. We don't want any part of this, so we're just banning flags outright. It's just dumb for him not to come out and say it because it leaves people like you wondering, like, what is he talking about here? How does Cater versus Tony go right now, 5 rounds? I'll take Tony all day, but I'm a Tony apparently biased. Yes, he could. I think Tony's still a decent fighter. I think Yair Rodriguez was popping off on Brian Ortega when he dislocated his shoulder. Does this count? I count it. Out of all the pay-per-view cards announced right now, which one sells the most? 280 for sure. But it's in a weird time in the day, so I don't know. I don't know. By the way, guys, if you do not follow me on Twitter and Instagram, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MMA Joey C. At MMA Joey C. I'm trying to get to 200 followers on Twitter, so if you're on Twitter, go follow me. I tweet out stuff all the time. I try to be more active on there. Let's see if anybody goes and listens to me. Let's go check. Apparently, I'm getting a decent amount of hate from the Bo Nickel tweets. Let's see. Nope, nobody cares, apparently. I'll check again in a minute. And if you're watching this stream and you're not subscribed to the channel, I'll be doing another stream just like this tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. We are currently at, let's see what we are at. 4,381 subscribers. Subscribe right this very second. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Look, 2 people listen to me. 2 people went and listened to me. Go follow me on Instagram too. I would greatly appreciate it. Billy L. Thank you for becoming a member. Join the members only Discord. You now have a loyalty badge next to your name, which means I'm more likely to answer your question. You also get custom emojis to use in the chat as well as the comments. But I appreciate your support. We got about 50, probably like 60 people in the Discord now, in the members Discord. We talk about MMA every single day, all the latest news. You can message me directly. I let you know every time I'm going live. Like these random streams I post in there. Hey, I'm going to go live in like an hour or so. So the Discord is worth every penny. Anybody else that wants to become a member, the link is down in the description. I repeat, the link is down in the description, but actually, I will post it in the chat as well. If anybody else wants to become a member, it's only $3. It's $3 and you get all those benefits. You also get extra live streams that I private. So here you go. Become a member. Thank you, Billy, for becoming a member. Okay, where were we at? Okay, already answered that. Any news on the Conor comeback January? I think it's probably December, January, but it might not be. It might end up being later than that. If Aldo and Chito win, should they run it back? No, Aldo's better. I was an Eddie Alvarez fan. It's unfortunate most fans will remember him for his. Yeah, it is very unfortunate. He had great fights with Chandler and Bellator too. Who watches 12 round of boxing and that's like watching a web series? What was the worst pay-per-view this year? I'm going to have to look that up. UFC pay-per-views. I want to say 272 off the top of my head. Let's see. 274, 273, 272. Yeah, it was 272 was garbage. Was straight up garbage. And I don't mean the fights weren't exciting. I mean, there was no Colby, Jorge Masvidal, okay, but that doesn't belong as a main event. Rafael Dos Anjos, Renato Moicano's the co-main event. Come on now. So I would definitely say 272 is the worst pay-per-view. Let's see. Hey, Joey. Did you see the one prospect? No, I did not. Charles versus Islam is so weird because it's dead even 50-50. I agree. What time is 280? 2 p.m. Eastern main card start time. What was the takeaway from Bo Nickal's performance? He looked good, but he's fighting a garbage can. And that's pretty much it. Who deserves a shot more, Emmett or Yair? Emmett, but I don't want to give it to him. I thought he lost both of his last two fights. So, all right, everyone. I followed now Joey at 199 on Twitter. Am I at 199? I didn't even know that. I thought it was at like 190 something. 190. Oh, yes. We are at 200 followers on Twitter. It's official. But go follow. Let me see how many I'm at on Instagram. I'm at 161 on Instagram. So if you guys can do me a favor, go follow me at MMA Joey C. I will donate 500 if Oliveira finishes Islam. I don't think you will. Why don't you donate something now as a sign of good faith? I want to see them donations trickle in right now from you. There you go. Already throwing out. It doesn't show up on StreamYard, but Nate Diaz emoji. Yeah, there's Nate Diaz emoji, Conor McGregor emoji, Khamzat Chimaev emoji, Sean O'Malley emoji, Habib emoji, Daniel Cormier emoji. Do you think they give Jorge a second? No, absolutely not. Where's the crew at? Who we talking about? What crew? Time flies, man. I know. 272 Blue Donkey. Yeah, it did. Sean Strickland versus Brunson or Cannonier. I say Brunson. Hi, I'm lurking. I appreciate you. What divisions need an interim title fight? I don't think any need an interim title fight right now. None. I hate interim title fights. Do you see Bo Nickel getting the Sage Northcutt treatment? Maybe. Never use Twitter. I love it for getting MMA news the quickest. But I understand if you don't use it. UFC 279 pay-per-view prediction. Like how many buys it does? I'll say 300. Just call for Nate's name. What has been the worst, most pointless interim title fight in the past years? There's probably another one, but I'll say Derek Lewis, Cyril Gane. UFC 278 pay-per-view prediction. I'll say 350. I don't know. That's wild, boys, bro. They'll be here soon. Hopefully they blow up your feed and you'll get new subs. Who we talking about? Robinson Rob. What do you mean? From where? Where are they coming from? That's what I need to know. I think featherweight will need an interim title fight soon. It depends. Bo is beast mode. He's his opponent. I don't know what we're saying there, but okay. Okay, let me mute this real quick. Mute that. I don't want that. I'm checking YouTube real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything, because sometimes they take stuff that is I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Thoughts on Costa firing Waleed as his manager? Did he? Costa did. I didn't know that. UFC 276 pay-per-view prediction. I don't know, 500,000. If Nate somehow beats Hamza, how does that affect both of their careers moving forward? Destroys Khamzat's career. I mean, you lose to Nate Diaz, you're done. But Nate, it would make him an even more valuable free agent, and Dana would be pissed. Dana will run from the arena as quick as he can. Brendan Allen versus Emmett and Cater versus Bryce Mitchell. What do you think? I want Bryce Mitchell versus Evloev or Bryce Mitchell versus Ortega. Rodriguez versus Emmett while Volkanovski is injured and move up to flyweight. That could make sense. If Volkanovski is injured and he's going to be out for a little bit and he wants to wait for the winner of Oliveira versus Islam, then make an interim title fight. Which top 5 lightweights could beat Volk? I really don't see anybody beating Volk. If I had to pick someone, if you told me someone in the top 10 beat Volkanovski, the only person I would think could, and this sounds crazy, would be Mavsar Evloev. That would be my best pick. Elite level grappling, striking ever improving. Fight to make if Khamzat loses. I have no idea. If he loses, I'm off the Khamzat train. It's a crew of us that love these lives. I appreciate you. I've never seen you in the live, so I didn't realize you loved the live. But thank you. Costa and Figgy both fired him. I did not know that. What's your opinion on title rematches? I really dislike automatic rematches. One of the worst was TJ versus Cody too. It depends. There's some that I hate. There's some that I like. But Cody TJ was one I didn't like. And I even mentioned it in my recent video about Cody Garbrandt. I know if you caught that. What did you think about Dana's friendship with the Nelk boys? He's just using them to promote himself. That's what he's doing. Makes sense to me. You think Oliveira could lose to Volk? Definitely. If Khamzat loses, we won't ever get him in Usman. We can't keep hoping for that. Yeah, I'm not hoping for it at all. But what if Jorge beats Burns? What about it? What if? Guys, keep the questions coming. If you have not liked the stream yet, do me a favor right this very second and like the stream. Let me X out all these tabs that I don't need. A bunch of tabs open. And you know what I forgot to do, which I mean to do every time, is to go tweet out that I'm streaming. I'm actually really annoyed that I'm not. I'm live now discussing. To say join me live now. It's 12:56 already. That's insanity. That's absolute insanity, guys. Where's the time go? Okay, let's continue on. Go to StreamYards. Cody almost KO'd TJ. TJ was saved by the bell. Yep. I actually mentioned that in my recent Cody Garbrandt video as well. What would be next if he beats Burns? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like maybe a Conor fight, but I don't think they're going to put Conor against him. Thank you. Should Yuri defend against Ankalaev or Glover? I kind of want a fresh matchup. I'd like Ankalaev. Can he beat Burns? It's possible, but I would probably pick Burns. What's next for Thiago Santos? Maybe Dominic Reyes fight, but I think Dominic Reyes is probably going to be returning soon. So that probably doesn't make sense. Outside of that, it would have to be someone who lost. Maybe Paul Craig. Thiago Santos, Paul Craig would make sense. Do you think Brandon Moreno can make himself the second greatest flyweight of all time if he takes the belt and racks it? Yes. It's been a while. How's everything? Love the fresh cut. Thank you. Everything's good. I hope everything's good with you. Doesn't make any sense, but seems like Garbrandt was put on the planet to beat Dominic Cruz. Yeah. Costa fired him because they don't have the same vision for each other. What do you think Wally wanted Costa to do? I have no clue. Costa seems like he'd be difficult to manage because he doesn't shut up, and then he has all these different problems. But I did not know that. Lightweight fighters that will be competitive for Volk are Charles, Islam, and Charles. Chandler, Islam, and Charles. I would agree. Which lightweight could you see beating Colby? None. It's doubtful. Maybe Islam, maybe Chandler. But outside of that, I don't see a lot. I think all of them would be too small. I wouldn't mind Cody versus Cruz too, depending on how they're. Yeah, maybe Cody chins Ronnie Yaya, and then Cruz loses to Vera. I could see them matching them up. Costa should move up to light heavyweight. Well, I guess in his last fight he did, but I don't think he has a lot of success at light heavyweight. So, bro, your interactions off the chain. Love how you keep posting the questions. Appreciate you. I do these all the time, man. I thought you watched the lives. I thought you said you were a big fan of these lives. But yeah, I do these all the time. So I'm doing one tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Why is the UFC not stacking UFC 278 and 279? I guess they just don't have the resources. 279, they're doing it out of spite to Nate Diaz and his pay-per-view points. But I think outside of that, lack of resources. Thiago Santos needs to take some time off or retire. I agree. Who do you have in Figueroa versus Moreno? I would take Moreno. I thought he won the last fight. I thought he won the trilogy as well. Do you think they'll give Colby a fight in January? Colby just seems like he doesn't want to fight. Dude's gone off to witness protection. That's why I'm showing love. Well, appreciate you. What's UFC 279 co-main? There really isn't a co-main right now. Right now, it's probably Ion Cutelaba, Johnny Walker. The card is just absolutely atrocious. I'm going to wait like another week or so and then make another video about it. Joey, do you play any video games or just too busy? Actually, I used to play a lot of video games before I started the channel, but not anymore, really. I don't have time. I wish I had more time to play. But also, there hasn't been a lot of good next-gen games to come out. So, did you see the report that Costa Vittori was originally set at 205? There was a mismanagement by both sides. UFC should apologize to Costa for making him out to be the villain. It was always sketchy. Yeah, I have no idea. I thought the whole situation was weird back then. So, I thought maybe he was injured and to keep the event on because the event wasn't that great to begin with. Costa, talked to the UFC and said, look, this is what I can do. And that's why the UFC was kind of radio silent on it. If you remember, they were kind of radio silent. What's the least amount of money someone can offer you to sign a one-fight deal and get in the Octagon to fight someone random? What's the least amount of money? To take some brain damage, if it's televised, at least $100K. Non-televised, maybe like 50. Yeah, Charles versus Colby. Charles will win, in my opinion. Charles is bigger. Charles is not bigger. He definitely has more power. Charles could beat him. I wouldn't say probably, but I doubt it. Any predictions who would give the co-main UFC 279? Ion Cutelaba, Johnny Walker. I don't know. I hope they got something in their back pocket. It's so bad. Have you ever played a game called Destiny 2? No, I haven't, but I've heard of it. Do you think Dana sabotaged 279 so Diaz don't get a good back end of pay-per-view? I have a video on the channel literally called The UFC is intentionally sabotaging UFC 279 Khamzat Chimaev Nate Diaz. I just put it out like a week or two ago. Yes, I do believe they are sabotaging UFC 279 purposely because of the pay-per-view points. I don't buy that. Why would the UFC book a light heavyweight fight with two top middleweights? Yeah, I have no idea. It sounds like a bunch of miscommunications by everyone. They should promote the crap out of Figgy versus Moreno 4 because it's the first ever quadrilogy in the history of MMA. I agree. Book it and promote it. Feel like good matchups went to 280. Hopefully a banger in 281 next. Yeah. 280 and then 281 right after each other is going to be really, really good. Yeah, lawnmower simulator, I'll try that. What's worse, a punch from Ngannou or a liver kick? I'll say a punch from Ngannou. Diaz is going to pull out a day before. I hope so. UFC 282 main card predictions. Who do you think it's going to be on the last card? I'll say the main event is John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. Co-main event, maybe Izzy versus Magomed Ankalaev. Something along those lines. And maybe Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos too. Something along those lines, maybe. Just join the Discord. Looking forward to the next chat. I'm happy. I'm going to go wave to you on Discord. Billy Dub. Yeah, we had a bunch of different tabs in there, dude. We got channel updates, which I post a bunch of updates about the channel. Breaking news, fight night live chat, where that's the tab we talk in during the fights, just because it gets so crazy during the fights that we need a dedicated tab to it. Otherwise, we'd never be able to keep up with anything else. Random tab gets the most use. Then we have MMA poll, betting, boxing, self-promotion, server suggestions, and bot commands, which really aren't even tabs, but you get the point. But yeah, I'm happy to have you in the Discord. I'm happy to continue growing the Discord. I post a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff on Discord. So if you want to become a member, the link is down in the description. If you want a good group of solid people to discuss MMA with every single day, where I'm not talking, once a week or anything like that. Everybody's in there every single day. We have a solid community where we've become, basically all friends in there. We're all basically friends in there, even though we've never personally met. There's people who are playing video games against each other in the Discord, like not in the Discord, but they're communicating in Discord, and now they're adding each other on their systems and playing UFC against each other, streaming Call of Duty, stuff like that. The Discord, we've built a great community in the Discord. If you're a member and you're in the chat and you're in the Discord, let them know. If you want to become a member, here's the link I posted in the chat, but it's also in the description. It's only $3. It's a great way to support the channel. I would be happy for him, honestly. If Diaz pulls out, yes, I would be. Do you think Diaz uses a sunset clause and flake out? I hope he does. Why would they sabotage pay-per-view? They just know the majority of people buy this one or only watch the main event. Because they don't want Nate Diaz to get any more pay-per-view money than he has to. And they already know Diaz versus Hamza will draw the bare minimum amount of buys, where it won't be a garbage pay-per-view anyway, as far as pay-per-view buys. Keep up with the good work. Your channel's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you, Frank. Guess the other title fight at 281. My eye's itching. I don't know. What else could be at 281? My eye is itching. I'll say Volk versus Jair or Volk versus Emmett could be a possibility. But Volk's injured, so I don't know if he's going to come back in November. That's 3 months away, so he could potentially come back. I'll say Carlos Esparza, Weili Zhang. Why is my eye itching so bad? Usually my nose is itching. Now my eye's itching. It never ends. Let's see. Okay, here we are. Any word on Stipe? He seems to be holding out for the... No, Stipe's super inactive. Opinion on Conor getting that movie. Also, Conor posted a reel today that he's coming back. Yeah, Conor's always teasing this or that. Sounds like a dope community. It is, Billy. It's a great community on Discord. You'll see, man. You'll see. We got a great community there. What do you think of the embedded series? I think it's okay. I don't watch a whole lot of it anymore, honestly. It just seems like I don't have the time. I don't watch a lot of MMA YouTube content in general. You took the words right out of my mouth. If you're talking about them devaluing Nate for the pay-per-views, I have a video. I'll send it to you. Let me just I'll post in the chat for you if you want to open in another tab or save the link. I did a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And look, if you go watch this video, I want you to make sure to comment on it so I know you went and watched it after the stream. This is for you, Rob. I'm posting a link in the chat. That's for you. Has any media called out Dana about poor 279? Somebody asked him about it. He said, when have we not made a card that's nuts? And they didn't even say, well, this card's terrible. So then nobody basically will ever call him out. Is there any chance Tuivasa knocks out Gain? It's slight chance, but not super possible. Yeah, that's perfect. Rodriguez versus Emmett was on the New York card because Volkanovski is going to be there anyway to support Izzy. Yeah, or if Volk wants to stay active, I could see him picking up another win over Yair or Emmett. I think he beats both those guys. Do you think Esparza would have a chance against Weili Zhang? Absolutely not. I absolutely not. Who is your favorite fighter to watch and why? I don't know if I have a particular favorite one. Thank you, bro. No problem. Hello, what's up, John Henry? What's a sun? I don't know what a sunset clause is. I have no idea what that is. Is Kai Kara France title shot chances over? No, I think it's possible he could get back to a title shot. I think he could. It all depends. It all depends what happens in the division. What do you think about Conor's UFC 264 ceremonial weigh-in interviews where he was like, you're dead in the octagon tomorrow. It was cold. He was saying you're going to be stretchered out and you're going to be taken out, and you're going to be dead, and then he got stretchered out. So I think it was karma for the way he was speaking. So we will see. We will see what happens when he eventually returns, but I thought it was pretty ironic that he ended up getting stretchered out. I don't like other people threatening death on other fighters because you never know. As Conor Usman prepare for movie roles, will Hollywood greed make them? No. I think once they stop being fighters, they won't even be asked to have these small roles in movies. You think that Carla can take the no? Nope. She can definitely take her down, but she's not going to win. She's going to get slaughtered on the feet before that. Did Garbrandt stand a chance against anyone in the top 5? If he has a chin, then yes. You don't think? The sunset clause is a contract expiration date that trumps the final fight. Yeah, but if he doesn't fight, they'll just extend him anyway. Like if he pulls out of the fight, they'll automatically extend him for another fight. It's not like he gets out of it there. So we will see. We will see what happens. I think he'll end up. I don't think he's just going to pull out. I think that he's going to just end up fighting and getting destroyed. And that fight card is just ugly. The ugliest card I've ever seen in my life. What was I going to look at here? Okay, here we go. All right, guys, keep the questions coming. We're going to go for a little bit longer. Keep the questions coming. If you're lurking in the stream right now, let me know. And guys, how do we have almost 70 people in the stream and nobody's liking the stream? What's going on here? Like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know if you're lurking in the stream. Let me know if you're watching this stream. Where are you from? Where are you watching at right now? Let me know. Answer in the chat. I would love to know. I would love to know where everyone's watching from. Just out of sheer curiosity. Also, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MMA Joey C. Go follow me right this very instant. Okay, let's see. Is anybody? I mean, we got 65 people watching and nobody's saying much. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. Where was I at now? I don't remember. I just started watching Emma, but was in the matter of months to tell my friends to bet on it and make money, and it makes me feel happy. UFC is so fun. Okay. I'm happy you became a fan. Diaz, easiest way out will be doctor stoppage from blood. Would not surprise me if we get a doctor stoppage. Yeah, put where you were from. Put where you are from in the chat or where you're watching at, whichever one you want. One or the other. I'd like to know where everyone's from. When does Usman fight next if he beats Leon? He's got to fight Khamzat. Khamzat. Yes, the Khamzat Usman fight is the biggest matchup in the division. Orlando, Florida, North Korea, don't tell anyone. Kind of sort of lurking, but talking a little bit. How do you feel about 278 outside of the main event? I think it's a decent card. I think it's getting shit on a little bit too much. I have a video on it, grading it as a whole. VA at home in my room. Coming over. Vegas, Covington, Louisiana, India. That's crazy. Chirac, Illinois. That's hilarious. India. Okay. Gaithersburg, Maryland. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia. I was like 30. I don't know what that means. Albania, New York, India. Okay. Do you like Ryzen? It's okay. What's your favorite number? I don't really have one. What's your favorite food? Chicken of some sort. Okay, dude, you can stop spamming the India. Okay, I got it. St. Louis. Billy's from St. Louis. Yeah. I wonder where Adarsh is from. Can anybody tell me where Adarsh is from? If someone could let me know where Adarsh is from. I don't know how we ended up with so many lurkers at this time of night. I feel like this is too late to have this many lurkers. But it is what it is. I'm going to get off here in a few minutes. What's better, a winter blizzard or a huge thunderstorm with hail and rain? A winter blizzard. I don't know. That's a strange question. All right, guys, if you have any final questions, I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow, aka Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you can join me tomorrow. I do a weekly live chat on the channel every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. I try to do extra live streams in between then, like this one. But if you want to join an awesome community, become a part of the Discord. Become a part of the Discord. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MMA Joey C. All that good stuff. But I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to answer a few more questions and then I'm getting out of here. So if you got a question, throw it in the chat. Yeah, I have no idea. On that one. I didn't hear anything. But staying in the USA, that's awesome. He's from India, bro. Yeah, I think so. How do I donate money? I have a fat 179 for you. Why a fat 179? There's a super chat button down below. I believe you're kidding, but there's a little money sign down below in the chat if you want to donate to the channel. If you donate 179 right now, I would be absolutely shocked because I think you're just trolling. What's your favorite number? I'll say 500. My favorite number is 500. So, if Cormier had Mike Tyson boxing skill and KO power, could he have beaten John Jones? Yes, 100% he could have beaten John Jones. I mean, with that skill, he could have beaten John Jones because John Jones was just so versatile, but the threat of the power would have kept Jones off him a little bit, I think. And the wrestling of Daniel Cormier would have helped. I mean, it was already elite, so add that power to it would have been incredible. Where's Hunter been? I feel like he gets talked about, but never. He doesn't really do interviews too much. But he was at Dana White's Contender Series tonight. So he kind of looks like a super villain of some sort. I don't know why he gives me all fives. 279 looks like the card they'll put Chase Sherman on. Yeah. Let's take a look. One last look at UFC 279 right now. Because, I mean, guys, it's ugly. It is ugly. Chimaev versus Diaz. Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Jalton Almeida. Alreen Aldana versus Macy Chastone. Johnny Walker, Ian Kutalaba. I mean, Norma Dumont, Danielle Wolf. What a terrible, terrible, terrible card. And according to this, and I don't know, they have 1, 2, 3. They're only missing one main card fight. This is an ugly card, guys. This is a really ugly card. Really, really ugly. Really, really ugly. It's bad. I wouldn't. I can't buy this. I can't buy this. Do you watch Uncle Chael or JOF? They both did videos on the Sunset Clause. No, I did not. But I'm telling you, if Nate Diaz pulls out of the fight, he is still under contract for one fight. And I don't believe he will get out of it. They will make him fight out that fight. Why is Stipe not recognized more as heavyweight GOAT? Do you think he beats Francis in a trilogy? No, but he should be recognized as the GOAT. Cormier comes back and Ngannou, who wins? Cormier in his prime, I would take him over Ngannou, but now, no. Thoughts on Jesse on fire defending Pat Barry? Who could defend Pat Barry? I don't know. Who wins Joe versus Donald in a fight? I take Joe Lozon at that point. I've seen dog shit that looks better than 279. Yeah, 279 is a shit stain excuse for a card. Why don't they make 279 free like Blachowicz versus Teixeira? Because the Nate Diaz name will draw in some pay-per-view buys. That's exactly why that will be in the way it is. So there you go. All right. No more Sam Alvey in the UFC. RIP. Yeah, poor Sam Alvey. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I will be live tomorrow, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to like this stream before you leave. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel right this second. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And go watch that video I posted in the chat earlier about UFC 279 being intentionally sabotaged by the UFC. If you already watched that, go watch my Marlon Chito Vera versus Dominic Cruz prediction, which is my most recent video on the channel. Thank you guys all for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night.